Energy Day, just to let everybody know about the number vibrations for today and the energies we're working with. Really profound. We're getting close to the equinox, which is on the 21st, and I think we're going to be, putting our fall back. Clocks go back, so we're seeing a difference in the fall weather energies here for sure on the island. And also today is a 999 day, so that's very, very powerful. 999, and of course, some of the energies that we've been floating with for quite some time in humanity is understanding cycles, how cycles are so important to our evolution, how cycles are so important to pay attention to, just as we're returning back to our ancient times. And we always used to pay attention to the moon and the sun and where things were in the sky as we aligned with certain star systems and certain star clusters. And so it is very important. We're getting back to our intuitive beingness and our intuitive beingness that drives us within, and having that body spirit homeostasis with the planet and with the stars in the galaxy as, again, who are you, what do you exist in, what's going on within you. We are now reawakening to all that we have been as ancient beings and as star beings. And I want to dedicate this show today to the two beautiful beings that have been, holding beautiful space for me in the ethers and holding beautiful space and donating. It is my goal this week to pay off my phone bill. So if anybody would love to send donations, and the two beautiful beings that have been doing their donating, I absolutely would not be eating and feeling safe if it hadn't been for your beautiful donations and the beautiful things that you've been allowing me to see and to tap into with appreciation and gratitude. So I appreciate you so very much. And I'm sending special prayers. I did a few little dances and I did a little energy work for you yesterday. So I'm hoping that you both felt my energies of love and light and gratitude and appreciation, deep appreciation for your thank you, and deep appreciation for your donations. I was doing little dancing and I was sending colors and light and love to you, and I was having your archangels and the fairies. So I'm hoping you can feel the fairy energy for both of you. I've been sending those strong this weekend, the protection and the love that you all have, and to send you special little blessings. If there's anything that you would like under these protections and under the angelic blessings, then please just send those blessings of your well wishes to the angels that are working with you on my behalf. As a part of my gratitude and thank you. So definitely ask and use those angels for your healing. Ask them for, one of your little wishes to come true. So these angels are sent to you this week as a part of appreciation and gratitude for you helping me pay off my phone bill. So I appreciate it so very much. So by Friday, my goal is to have my phone bill paid off. Yay! It hasn't been paid off since I think about 6 months. 6 or 7 months. So it's, one of those things that has been weighing me down. So I appreciate it. And I'm hoping that God has allowing all the things to take place with all of those that have been messing with my finances and not wanting me to receive, and all those beings are taken care of and they're being shoved out of the way as I'm moving into these new arenas of service. Yeah, which is why I'm here. I'm here for, celestial service on behalf of the federations. I'm here on behalf of creational services, the multiverse, that is allowing us to thread in multiverse energies. The multiverse infinity that we go back and forth between different universes and depositing the Christed light, and how so many of the star lineages and your star ancestors even if they're ancient earthly ancestors. I had this beautiful, profound knowing this morning that the true Egyptian gods are rising. And so that was that's very beautiful, and it's very profound in the work that we've been doing as light workers. And I feel it. I feel that there is a shake upon the earth and the soils and the grids, and the true beautiful ancient Egyptian gods that were always meant to be in leadership service through the beautiful special temples that were created and benevolently aligned with our star systems. There's a lot there that is in alignment, and that I had that beautiful download that the true Egyptian gods are arising once again. And we're going to be arising in higher evolutionary status, because we are combining, again, the multiverse, which was, again, never known back then. And we're also amalgamating the healed version of the human experience that we've been seeing has been breaking down, and why we've been seeing the many wounds of divine masculine and how that has damaged all of our social systems, because men have been historically imprinted in making and creating social systems and financial systems, and that's going to change from here on out. So we're very, very happy that we've done so much grid work in in these new 5D systems, we're creating divine feminine, divine masculine back in balance and creating these new 5D new Earth star systems. And the new Earth star systems is about balance and integration of the soul self and ensuring that we're healing whatever comes up in the triggering, and then knowing that peace, love, and balance and harmony within all life, because it is that harmony in all life that creates law number 2, balance. And so it's very important to not interfere with natural order, not to interfere with anybody's natural path of evolution, and let them move upon their path, because we don't know if the next day they're going to get a huge download or a huge wake-up call from a dream, or they're going to get a huge activation within themselves of self-love. We have to give everyone the opportunity to go within and see and feel and know the difference between manifesting a change within yourself through self-love, or somebody, continually spoon-feeding it to you. There has to be that level, especially as we're entering into 5D, there has to be an absolute amount of autonomy that we have to claim, and that's the Christ commandmentship, which we've been teaching forever, the Christ toolkit. And many of you that have been with me forever know that. The Christ toolkit of all that we are, to know that all that we're manifesting and moving about in this moment of, timeline creation and timeline substantiation through the who knowing of who we are, right? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? That's the substantiation. That's your timeline. And you can't fake that. You have to be able to work through the things that are not comfortable to work through. You have to be able to know how to alchemize yourself back, get those 5 quick things that you can keep on your fridge or in your bedroom, wherever you find yourself doing your dark night of the soul work and your energy work. Have those quick little 5 things that you can get up and dance, get up and sing, go out and run around and lay on the grass, whatever it is to realign your energy. Alignment is going to be so pivotal over the next little while, because you're going to be kind of the signpost for others to align to, right? So you need to hold that higher ground. You need to hold that staff and that mantle. You know how to get your energy right back to center again. What is love? What is alignment? And knowing that you're aligned with your true self, your true knowing, your truth. Because there's going to be a lot of people throw their truths at you and throw their side of the story. And this is why I've said I don't need anybody else's confessions, because I don't need their confessions messing up my aura field. I know what I know through spirit. I speak specifically what spirit tells me to speak, and that's all I need to know. I'm not going to get messed up by anybody else's confessions. It doesn't mean anything. Their confessions are between them and God. Their confessions are between them and their, so-called tribe, and their confessions are between them and whoever. I'm not their redeemer anymore. Their redeemer was in that 3-year period. I'm not the redeemer for these people anymore. They're going to have to go right to God. I don't want their confessions in my field. It's cleansed out. I'm clean now. I don't owe anybody. I have no karma to repay. From here on out, it's just me and the magnificence of Mother Father walking with me to create 5D and to assist in continuing that momentum for all of humanity, so that I can leave as much as I can behind, in the light temples and our light schools and all that I'm going to be creating, so that I can, maintain this beautiful earth and the foundations of divine feminine as godly. And that's my intention too, right? Anchor divine feminine as godliness. So that is one of my big, goals. That's a huge goal, considering it's been 6,000 years and plus another, tens of thousands of years before that, where humanoids were on the planet, and there has been no real voice of divine feminine in her sacred wisdom and intellectual ways. And so I want to empower all divine feminine and all divine masculines to work on those energies this week. Accept divine feminine as intuitively intelligent, intuitively intellectual, intuitively innovative, and really empower those energies of divine wisdom, because behind every great king there is a great queen. And we all know that in many of the great theologies and many in the great philosophies and sociologies and sciences and social sciences, that there's always been that divine feminine that has always been guiding the divine masculine, whether it be through oracle or whether it be through the staff that the kings and these important men have had. Divine feminine have always been the ones that have been aligning the divine masculine as to what is right, and to have that more compassionate understanding for how to lead the people. So now we're stepping into that understanding that we are both leaders in and of ourselves, because in that balanced body we must be. We must be that purveyor of self, and not to take on anybody else's projections or impalements on us. And knowing that we're not taking on anybody else's truth. No, my truth is my truth. I've worked through that. I've earned that truth, That's why your soul's record and your soul's blueprint is so important. It should be the only thing you focus on. You should never, ever, there should never be any spare moment that you're ever projecting or trying to focus on what anybody else is doing. There's no time in creation for you to be paying attention to what others are doing and to stalk them and spy on them and illegally surveillance them. There's no time in creation for that. And if you do, and if that is what you do, you may want to absolutely, stop doing that, because you're crossing all spiritual laws and boundaries, and get yourself in order of who are you. Because if you're doing that on somebody else, you don't know who you are, and you're not spending the time that you should be spending on you. And that is getting yourself back to God, getting yourself back in alignment with your true higher self and your true spirit and your true soul. There's nothing wrong with watching someone because you align with them and you feel good when you watch them, and we inspire as influencers and as those as divine spiritual guides. I am a true spiritual guide. It is my intention, and it is my excitement, and it is my passion. There's nothing I feel more passionate about than getting in front of the people. And it has nothing to do about being seen. It has to do with I can't wait to share source. And that's the difference between myself and all others, is because those that choose to be in front of others, and Spirit and I have really had to work that. And there's points where I have to tell Spirit, I said, Spirit, I don't care about the glory. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the stardom. I don't care about any of that. That has never, ever been any of my intention. I would never say those things coming out of my mouth. And that's why a lot of devils and demons never ever approach me, because my energy vibration is on a different level. Because that's intentional. That's from the solar plexus. That's from your chakras. My intention, and you can tell those people that fake and doppelgang and those people that clone and all of those energies, because that's the energy they're at. They're still at the cesspool level. They don't know who they are, so they're just sussing around looking for somebody else's identity, looking for somebody else's energy, looking for somebody else's image that might look appealing, right? Or who's on the next rise up. The passion that I live from is I can't wait to share. I can't wait to assist the others in their energy, because when I'm in that energy of the collective, I do assist the collective energy. And that is what I feel. I bring the excitement, I bring the passion to get back to life again. What are the important things that we're not seeing in every day? Let's pay attention to nature. Let's pay attention to symbolism. When I bring that up, creation wakes up and they say, thank you for reminding the people about creational symbols. Thank you for reminding the people about symbols in nature. And that's Gaia, and those are all the energies of the omnipresence thanking me, because that's godly. So that's why I love being in front of the people, because I know that I bring something that no other person brings. And that doesn't mean to say that what they're bringing is not important. No, I know that when I'm in front of those, that I affect godliness. And you can't get any higher. It just makes me want to cry. That's the difference between somebody that does something for money and sells their soul, and somebody that is just being who they are. And we're going to be at a point, because the entire industry is coming down. There will be those that are earth angels and those that are industry legends, if you will, or industry icons that are going to be coming together to make something new. And there won't be any selling of any soul needed. There will be collaborations to inspire 5D. And Spirit is teaching us a very important lesson. This is very important, and we can't they're showing me a trickle down. When I say trickle down from the 13th dimensions down, right? When we say that. So there's a cascading up. So when I go like this, cascading up, and then there's the trickle down. So they're showing me the cascading up. Should keep those notes open. I don't think we're going to do the brain today. I'm not going to get a chance to do the brain. Let's put that aside. We're going to work on inspiration, imagination, and the clairs. We're going to do it today. Right? We're actually going to do that today. Right? So the trickle down, so the cascading up, we're on the earth here, and we're anchoring new energies. This is me. I'm anchoring new energies to earth, and that is the divine feminine as goddess leader. So when they said they're going up like this, they're cascading those energies up. We're learning something very important, and it's something that you can't take lightly. This is very profound, and everybody on our planet is going to be looking at this and feeling this. And it does stem through the Adam, Eve, Antine particles, the Adam, Eve, Antine story, the Adam and Eve story. And I've been the only one that's been creating those energies from the downloads I get from Commander Ashtar and the Pleiadians. It is a huge theme in every human's story as our evolutionary soul moves in its cycle of progression, the cycles of humanity, the cycles of who we are as a spirit and as a soul, is who are we within regards to the Adam and Eve energies, the divine feminine masculine energies within ourselves. And we're seeing that just in, if we look at a reflective, objective point of view, what's coming in our collective reality and what do we see breaking and how is it broken and where did it start from and how can we start to heal it? And those of us that will be social leaders and those of us that will be planetary leaders will be looking at all those things because those are the councils we're on in the higher realms. And it's just natural that when we come down to our earth being and we're in our human bodies, we're now bringing these conversations of the things we're seeing from the higher realms, and we're on these conversations and councils and star council meetings in the higher realms. When we come into this daily earthly realm, these are things we just get excited to talk about because it's all, we're meshing the sleep time with awake time and it's all becoming one. That's when the subconscious is being brought up. You know, all that dark shadowy stuff is coming up and now we're ready to talk about it and mesh with it and now becoming one. This is when the upper and the lower and the inner and the outer start becoming one. It becomes that more of a meshment. The cogs in the wheel start working better because there's nothing that we're afraid of to face anymore. We're not going to hide anything. We're not going to suppress it. We don't really care what people think anymore. It's like, fuck off. It doesn't matter. You don't really want to put yourself in anybody's energy and trying to conform to anything. It's an absolute rebellious feeling right now between now and the end of the year. We're just being absolutely rebellious and not wanting to conform on anything. No, it's for you to break out of that box and Jay, fuck it. I'm not going to conform. This is who I want to be. And this is who I want to explore myself in being right now. And give yourself permission to have that change. And in that, it's allowing those bubbles in the membranes, because there are membranes. I've talked about it before in my videos. They're membranes. It's like a clear. It's like a clear. You see this right here. It's like a jelly. You see there is energy here, right? Because it's raised. It's not smooth. It's energy here. So that's what membranes are. They're a bit thicker. They're a bit thicker of membranes, and it's like a jelly, and you have to break through that. So to break through that, you do need to pay attention to your E equals MC squared. What energy are you putting in? How much energy are you putting in? What are you passionate about? Where if you're being conformed and you're just cycling around the same karmic patterns, you're trying to fit in with everybody, you're trying to be that next clone, or who's going to be on top next, who's going to be on stage next, who's going to be the next star, all that BS. All you're doing is you're just staying underneath that membrane. You'll never break out of that membrane because that membrane is only breakable when you're doing in your highest passion. And that's why, again, Source will only put those in front of the people that have learned the various lessons of alchemy, the various lessons of how and what we're here to learn and move through and move beyond. And it's okay. Again, everybody is meant to be exactly where they are for their soul's learning. Because again, these people that are only going to circle in those lower karmic patterns, it's still okay for them to be there because maybe they've only had 100 lifetimes. I've had close to 1,000 lifetimes. I'm not going to be there anymore. There's no way. There's no way anybody in creation, because I'm attached, as and remember, cascading up and trickle down. My soul and my soul body is connected to multiverse soul families. So if I'm holding my soul family back after being here 1,000 times, it's going to be putting a bottleneck restraint, and this membrane here will get thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. So none of these beings would ever be able to break through the membrane. If I break through this membrane as a leader, the momentum, and I talked about the snowball. If we are creator gods, I'm a creator god, and there are others on the planet that are creator gods. Those creator gods are supposed to break through the membrane for others to move through more easily. This is why I said I carry more weight than others, because I can alchemy. I'm a master alchemist. I'm not saying these things to brag about myself. I just understand what God is doing. I'm shown these things. I'm a conduit, so I'm explaining how the process of ascension and planetary ascension works, and that everything is science, and everything is backed up in the momentum of energy, in the momentum of the equations of the energy. So we are multi-vibrational beings, and we are all godly. We are within a godly environment. Everything within us is a godly environment, and we are godly vessels. So we must start operating ourselves within godliness and having that commandmentship of who we are, and starting to really design and drive ourselves as godliness. And knowing that there are specific membranes you do have to break, because that's that 5D veil. And that 5D veil says how much of you are you not willing to stand in your truth of. So if you have all these people that, even if they're important, and even if they're really elite, and even if they're really special, and even if they have stars all over them, even if they have a bajillion dollars in the bank, doesn't matter how their outer structure appears and how special they think they are. That they're going to come and approach you, and they're going to say, are you worthy to be with us? And are you worthy to this? And are you worthy of that? And we're going to give you an opportunity. Are you worthy of this? And are you worthy of that? Now, all that matters is that you breaking this membrane for you and nobody else. It doesn't matter how they gauge you and how they determine you and how they want you to fit in their box. It's still their box. It's still their offer. And you don't have to take any of it if you don't want to, because you know that if you've come this far, you can be your own star in your own way and have it work out in your own timing. You know, there's going to be other people that will want a piece of you because they know that you're on the come up and they know that you're going to make things different. They know that you're a part of that seed that is God, that is unlike any other. You're not going to conform. There can be some things that you can work out and you can compromise on if it's a good enough offer and if they are true of heart and if they are pure of soul. But if they're playing games with you and they're having people spy on you and illegally surveillance you and put you in games of human hunting and human hunger games and all of those things, those are things being put behind you that say, well, why would I want to be with anybody and why would I want to be employed by anybody when so far it's been nothing but a human hunting game? How is that in cohesion of me being in a compatible, honorable relationship and a working relationship? And why would I want to sign on any dotted line when I've been in human hunger games? Why would I do that? So if that's where we're starting off right now, is just to see who is the toughest and who is the fittest, who the fittest will survive. These things are very real. They're going on in the collective. I've now put them behind me. God said is enough. The only reason why that I'm beyond that, the only reason why that membrane got busted was because of the hand of God and my intentional work. Intention is so important. Intention is the neutral. Intention is the neutral. Intention is the neutral. You cannot get that pure of intention if your chakras are not aligned. I teach everything that is the biophysical multidimensional alchemy. So you have to know this. And if you want specific sessions and lessons, you will book an appointment with me. In the very short time, I will be putting on classes, and those classes will be for those masters that are only here to advance their soul's progression. There will be those that want to take up mantles for teaching. They will want to take up mantles for proper healing, and they will want to take up mantles in the social systems that I will be assisting and leading and guiding and creating new laws for. But everything is energy. So if you're going to stay behind this membrane of conformity, it is thicker, right? There's grooves and stuff. And then you got to get, it's like it's exactly what goes on in the ocean. You know, when surfers are on the ocean and they're on their surfboard and they want to catch that right place of the wave, of that wake that's coming up like that, that's exactly what that's like. These are all membranes of wherever you're, I've talked about it before. What did we call it? Cluedo, what did we call it? Pods. When we have pods, they're clusters of people, pods and groupthink. This is what we're talking about. We're breaking and we're understanding that there has been a lot of negative groupthink in these cults and covens. These are pods. And these pods of energy make up these waves of things in the water that they're structures of chaos in water. And you can't get out of them unless you're going through one of the breaks or you have enough energy to break that, when you see water when it's upset and there's a pooling of water, you have to be strong enough to get through. I mean, there's nothing more damaging to your body than water. Seriously, we think it's all smooth and stuff like this, but if you are hit by a wave, that's it. That's why surfing is so dangerous. So I used to be so into surfing when I was in my 20s. No, I was never a surfer. No, I just love to watch it. I was always on the backside and all that because I was fascinated by water. I was fascinated by how powerful water is, how damaging water is in its swelling and its welling. And I would try and figure out the energy momentum of underneath the water because everything is current in the core surface first. And that's why they have tsunamis, because it begins at the core surface first of the earth, and how energy is moving in and out of water, and how we can, because I do affect water as well, that's one of my gifts, and how I can use my alchemic energies to help that water and to smooth certain things out in the water so that it's not as devastating, and I have that power to do that. But earlier, before I knew that, I was just always interested in surfing and how and why they chose certain things in the waves and how and why they chose certain things and why there would be certain swells in certain places. It just always fascinated me. And so that's what I'm talking about. There is every one of these group thinks have a membrane, and these membranes of that group think is not going to be broken until the smartest person in their pod breaks through. And so because if we call it a collective pod and the grander collective scale as part of the creator gods, it's up to us creator gods to keep moving and breaking those swells of those membranes. And there's going to be a membrane at every dimensional level. There has to be. And then source creator does put the energy and the codes and the light in whatever dimensional bandwidth that you are in. But there are membranes that have to be broken. And those breaking is what we've been referring to and what many alchemists and many writers leaders have referred to for so very long. And it doesn't matter what Eastern, Western religions you go to these are philosophies or theologies. We're not talking about church. We're talking about theologies of understanding, theologies of philosophy of why are we here. And they've come to this agreement of the rebirth process. And that's why we have things called membranes and sacs, and we are being reborn and we are being reseeded. All of these things are about the natural miracle of birth. And they're all correlated. We are all being seeded in every moment. We are being given that new seed of God's spark that goes within. We're getting really deep and complex now. All that God seed spark that lights up that one codon, it absolutely starts to rewrite the birthing of your body. And then everything else must fall into place, the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual. Then you have to come up with new ideals to say, this is the ascension path work. Where am I at right now? What are my new understandings sexually? What are my new understandings emotionally? How do I want to be treated? How does my body want to be treated? How do I want to be treated? So I'm showing you this as I'm going through my own new vocational, my 5D vocational alignment. I'm lining my vocation. This is who I am. I'm going to align it. And whatever companies and whatever businesses are equal to this energy of pure benevolence, then those will be the ones I will consider working with. But it has to be equal benevolence. If they're coming at me because they know that I'm going to be a star, they're going to make money off me because they know that I can have direct access to God and I'm going to protect them and all these things, they will not be a part of the contract. And that's just God and me working together. Because God will ensure that they will have somebody on that other side that all they want to do is love me and be a part of me. They want to be a part of that growth. And only that person will be chosen. And that's between God and I, because God and I have set that directive. That's my design. So this is what I'm asking all, and I'm showing through my own life, through my own life cycle. This is what ascension is like. This is the daily path work. And you do have to actually sit down and you do have to work the energy. You have to say, who am I today? What is important for me today? What will I not conform with today? And you're breaking those membranes at every new birthing cycle and every new seeding cycle. We are all being right now, some of us that have been on this journey for a very long time, and why we feel differently in our cycles, and why doing the pathwork will allow you greater alignment and greater relationship with your cycles and greater relationship with energy and greater relationship with your star clusters, and how you're able to read energy, which we're going to start to do in a minute now, because we want to do a lot of time of message taking. We're going to do symbolisms, earth, nature, and then we're going to do clear messages. So that's going to be really short. But all that we're showing you right now, and me moving forward into these new arenas and into these new energies, the past is gone. The past are going to be blocked. They're going to be dealing with God now, because as I've told you, I'm not their redeemer anymore. So I'm showing each and every one of you how to be the commandmentship of the leader of your own life. Because you will have those that are not meant to go on your ride, that think they're meant to go on your ride and will take everything and want to take everything from you. And then there are those that don't understand that you're there to help and coach. You'll know when the time to break away is, but that's having that relationship and alignment with your teams. When is it, Spirit, that you want me to walk away? And Spirit will show you, you should have walked away a long time ago. Well, I would have walked away a long time ago, but I just didn't have any money, because there was also another group of people that were putting their hands on my money and resources and suffocating me because they wanted to have my access and nobody else. So again, there's a lot of selfish agendas on people thinking that they have ownership and tug of war on me and my energy and my potentials. I haven't even tapped into 1/10 of my potentials. So there might be a moment right now where my resources are slim, but I also know that God is making sure that I'm going to be pulled apart from those that are the most greedy and those that have done the most damage, because they're not going to be in benefit of what I'm creating, because they were the most detrimental to what I've created, and they've held it off for so very long. Again, as we've said, you'll never ever gain by being shit to people. You'll never ever gain by trying to screw people over. You'll never ever gain by doppelganging. You'll never ever gain by being a clone. You'll never ever gain by trying to sacrifice. You'll never ever gain by being a dick. From here on out, dear lighted ones, divine masculines on the planet, we are showing you in every way how important it is for you to do your daily ascension work. We need greater awareness. We need greater alignment for divine masculines on this planet. And you cannot play and you cannot pay just lip service. Divine masculines must be doing the work. You must alchemize. You must have your dark nights of the soul. And what is needed on this planet more than anything are divine masculines that have been going through the alchemic process, divine masculines that have been breaking conformity, and divine masculines that are standing up with their staff and their mantle and saying, fuck it. This is how we heal. And I know there's many masculine clients of mine that I've been empowering you for many years to do this, because the collective needs divine masculines that are speaking higher truth. And higher truth is not aligned with any religion. It ain't. And we're seeing that, aren't we? Aren't we? They say they're all righteous and they say they're higher truth, and then they're being busted for trafficking rings and touching on children and doing sacrifices in the basement of the church. So it ain't higher order. Order in the court. Because that's where you're at right now. Every time you sign on with me, I'm going to call you out. And I ain't going to stop calling you out. Until you get out of people's lanes, until you get out of people's energy fields, there ain't nothing you can do but go make your life right. And this is why I say, break away from everybody that you've been playing around. Break away from everybody that you've been praying around. Break away from everybody that you've been giving your power to. And you got to start getting yourself right. Reclaim your light, reclaim your power, get back in alignment with your chakras, with your God, with your teams and your higher self, because there ain't nobody that knows nothing about you better than your higher self. And that is a truth. And that's the truth you got to start living from, because the churches in the States won't show you through ascension, and we've been proving that to you. The church in the States have been proving that to you, haven't we? But now you're all seeing it, and now you're all feeling it. Now it's your quantum knowingness that you've been feeling it in your thought, mind, word, and soul. Things are different now, and you're going to be left on the cliff, and you're going to be left to say, now what? Because that's where they're leading everybody. They're leading everybody to the cliff. And then what? Will you go off the cliff because someone says jump? Or will you say, no, fuck it, I'm going my way. I got this. So be very discerning, dear lighted ones. Who do you bow to? You should first bow to yourself every morning in the mirror and say, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for allowing me this remembrance of who I am as godly. There is nothing outside of you that you need to align as being your highest and most miraculous. And you are only here to collaborate with those that are also in alignment of divine leadership and divine knowingness and divine unity and unity consciousness. And if they are not, they need to go away for a little while and do some work. And this is why God will only be in divine timing, through which you come together with those that are meant to create something new for humanity. The creator gods are getting ready. That's why I said the true temple gods are coming, dear lighted ones. And we are preparing ourselves. We do have alchemy that we have to move through. We do have to have things we have to let go of. And there are apologies that need to be made. And there is retribution that needs to be done. And checks signed for that retribution. Because nothing clean can start until these are done and cleared up. So that's where we're at right now. We're at the cleanup process right now. Because there are checks that need to be signed. There are drafts that need to be signed. And there are good wills needed to be made before we step forward on any new soil together. And we will be hand in hand, foot in foot. But make no doubt about it, as we said earlier, we didn't quite finish. It is very important that everybody write this down and think about it and muse about it for the rest of the week. It is very important that God, Source Creator, the Mother and the Father, and those of us that are upon many diverse lands and many diverse planets and many diverse DNA that's being activated, but it's very important, we want you to muse about this, soften into this important lesson. If there is an earth angel and there is someone from another worldly experience coming together, and one may have seemed more corrupt and one may have seemed not as corrupt, it doesn't matter what the backstories are. We're going to say this. This is a parable. And these energies come together to create something new. For it's not up to you or anybody else to know that these might be or may not be creator gods. That's up to God and God only. And these are the heavens and the councils speaking through this conduit. But there are reasons why that you're meeting and maximizing your energies, and just through coincidence and just through happiness and just through excitement, you're just going to be in front of someone and they will be in front of you. These are the orchestrations of the heavens. And it might seem, just as you all learned, as this conduit set before you, many of the judgments and many of the discriminations that you've all had to move through in her taking her place and her taking her staff and her standing in her mantle. Many judgments each and every one of you have had. Even her own judgments. You have to work through that. You actually have to look at it. What discriminations did I hold of myself being in this position of great power and great leadership and great honoring of, yes, I choose to be this of you, Father and Mother. I choose to bring these higher energies and higher essences and higher codes to the earth. I want to anchor these into the grids. I can see the grids. I can see what I do. I can see my codes I offer. I get so excited to share you, Mother, Father. I get so excited to share life to all life. These are my celestial energies coming through in this moment. And I go back and forth to whatever series of beingness I need to, whether it's a floating consciousness from the 13th or down to a 9th or 12th or 10th dimensional consciousness. This is what I like to do. I like to move back and forth in energy because I can. Now we want to place you in that imagination, that visualization, dear lighted ones. Things are changing very dramatically, and you know that has been standing in truth, the discernment of self and knowing of thyself as my name is. And this show is dedicated to those that have been donating so that I keep lifting myself to stay in my passion of who I am and my knowingness. And these teachings are for them because they are gods as well. And they are angels. And they are the pieces of the garden that cannot be missed. And just as those on the outer have judged and discriminated against those that are coming up new, because that's what always happens in new systems and new cycles, don't they? Is you always place judgments on whatever's coming up new, and then you make a judgment about it, and then you hum and haw about it like the woke community, and then there's lots of jokes, and there's lots of memes, and there's things that the collective works through, because it is something new. It's how they work through the fears of something new. And that's okay, but be respectful, because you're not going to be sitting at anybody's table being a dick. Have your judgments to yourself and work through them. But these people that will be placed before you are ancient beings and they're celestial beings. And they are of great respect and reverence to us on all sides. So perhaps maybe you might want to go in that way as well. Because it's when you disrespect people and you keep beating on them and you keep taking from them and you keep suppressing them, then there will be a path that you will have to take and there will be no way back. Because again, why would you be given lifted blessings and lifted gifts when all you want to do is take power over people and put your foot on their necks? How is that great leadership? Has it ever been great leadership? Has it ever been a great leader to see someone pound the crap out of someone and say, hey, I won, and I still have my foot on their neck? That means I'm more powerful. A smart being will never ever fight. They will intellectualize their way beyond you. As I have done, as I am that I am, godly. I am a creator God, and it makes no difference about anything outside of me in their believing of it. I don't need anybody's belief to be who I am. Does that make sense, dear lighted ones? Your judgments and your thinkings and your knowings doesn't matter to me. I am created from within. And it's been very powerful lessons for me to stay within my inness, within my withinness, within my allness of my isness. We've talked about isness before in many of my videos. Go back and see. It is the isness that stands in thy name is. As thy name is, I am as powerful as all that is. God is, in spirit, of spirit, as spirit. And it's this isness that nothing on the outside can shake. And sometimes you are ruffled and sometimes you're hurt and sometimes you need extra time to heal and you need to do your alchemy and call in extra light. And you do need that time with spirit to recalibrate. And that's often normal. And that's because you're getting thrown into things you've never been thrown in before at this level of integration. This is how to be multidimensional, dear lighted ones, is your isness. Isness doesn't give a fuck about conformity. Isness is. I will wear the shirts and the t-shirts and the clothes that I wear, and it's my isness, and I love my body, and I play with my hair, and I love being goddess-like. And if anybody tuffles me and tries to push me and harass me and test me one more time and throw this at me and throw more magic at my chakras and do this and do that and wait till the full moon and call out the most powerful practitioner on the planet, and they go searching for them and they pay thousands to this practitioner, and they're going to get the same response they did the last 50,000 times. You will not sacrifice me. You will not touch my destiny. And what is destiny all about, dear lighted ones? It's about isness. It's about the equation of isness. And each and every one of you have a different isness equation. It is the soul's blueprint. It is your oneness with God. It is your oneness with source. And only source, only source, only source. Only source knows the seed that you are within that sunflower. If you look at a sunflower that's filled with its sunflower seeds, look at a sunflower with its sunflower seeds within it. And each and every one of you are one sunflower seed. That's the micro-macro holographic reality. The sunflower carries many sunflower seeds. That sunflower knows that when one seed is plucked, it will affect all other seeds. That's why it's usually good to pluck them all at once. That's how you manage the sunflower. Because it will know then when that one is missing, because they've relied on each other to be there. And when you take out those ones and those seeds that are of cancer, you're going to find sometimes they will heal and they will grow in a different way, depending on what other environmental additives the equations have been gifted. Remember, groupthink, lower groupthink will only be as powerful as that one groupthink of its highest capabilities. And again, if you keep spiraling in low groupthink, you're going to keep being low groupthink. You have to break the membrane. Well, how do you break the membrane? Here's where we go, darlings. Here's where we go. Here's where we go. We're going back to the original. We're going back to the original story. We're going to thread you back and forth. You have an earth angel, and you have someone that is in the collective that is also a creator God. And they've been playing in different ways, and the earth angel's been playing in different ways, and they're both equal, and they're both valued, and they're both respected, and they're both equally in the heavens as far as their ranking. Different rankings in different ways because maybe they come from a different universe. And all of a sudden, that groupthink has been broken, and the membrane's fallen free because now many of those people in those groupthinks are running hairy scary because they all know that there's legal ramifications coming down. So now the membrane is broken, and now they're all scurrying, trying to find out who they're going to join with next. Because that's what energy does. Try and find who's going to be next. Try and find out who's going to be safe next. That's why they all come and scurry back to you when they know that God's lifted you, and because they know that what you've said is true, and they know that what you've been doing is true, and they know that you know how to protect yourself. They know that you're moving in your truth because that's all you've known is truth. And all you've spoken is truth, and all you've done is truth. You have nothing to do with the people that have been trying to criminalize you and bigot you and bring you down and hate you and impale you and try and take you out 3,000 times in your one lifetime. You're not a part of these people's energy. They wanted your energy. They wanted to steal it and thieve it because that's all they knew. And they're not going to be allowed back anymore because there's extra protections on, and they're not even going to touch your energy because you're so high now. Because all you do is focus on your now membrane and your new energy. So now let's say these two people come together and they say, let's manifest, let's co-create. This is where we want the friction of where we're going to right now will give you a spark. Now, both of these have very different ways of being. Different belief systems, different ways of being, different understandings of the universe, different understandings of who they are. But they both had very important roles in the collective. But on the outer, it might be appeared and judged and discriminated against so of what one person is to the collective, to the other person to the collective. There's going to be lots of things going on, and we're so excited to see how humanity reacts and how humanity comes together in these things. Because you're all going to have your own unique judgments. You're going to have your own unique perceptions and your own unique ideologies based from where you're at in your consciousness. And these are very exciting to all of us because it allows us to see how much have you grown. But when these two experiences come together, what happens, dear lighted ones? What happens in the chemistry? What happens? Membranes have to break, don't they? Oneness is oneness, dear lighted ones. And when you have two equal souls that are just so passionate about creating in their own unique ways, and they are both truthful and passionate, because sometimes their soul records are so passionate otherwise and out in the galaxy and doing other things in other galactic realms and other galactic planets, and they've had a few earthly timelines and they've had their experiences and they've gone through the ups and downs and they've survived and they've come out still speaking their own unique, valid, personal truth. And then God says, through the miracle of all things, let's perhaps bring a couple of these creator gods from all different sides of the universe, from all different sides of society, from all different sides of religions, from all different sides of makeup and color and race. Let's do this. Make no mistake, it'll be the biggest shakeup that Earth has ever seen. Isn't that exciting? When you have people come from all different religions and spaces and places and races, and all different borders and all different lineages, isn't it special, dear lighted ones, that we are doing something that's never been done before in all creation? And when these two beings meet, an earth angel and somebody else, or somebody else and an earth angel, or somebody else and a celestial, and somebody else and a starseed, and a starseed and a starseed, it doesn't matter what the labels are, as we've told you in every one of our radio shows. But when these two creator gods meet, delighted ones, it is a colossal shakeup that is magnitude on all universes. And when these two creator gods sit down and compromise and give and take with one another, there is nothing stopping the potential of all of its collective. And this is what many have been fearing because they don't want things to change because they've been making a lot of money being very corrupt and killing off life, and molding and warping distorted minds and brains to think that corruption is the way to go. And we've been telling you from day one, what does it equal? The E's. What does the E's on the negative side equal? What are the E's equal? There's an E here and an E here, and only your alignment here would decide and discern for you. It's entropy and it's extinction. How can ever doing anything bad to your body and your mind and your intentions and your spirit and your soul, and if there is disconnection between the spirit and the matter, there will be entropy, and then it will go into extinction. And if you continually separate those experiences of spirit and matter, they cannot come back together because you have distorted and destroyed it so much. You have to reconnect and go within and do the work and reharmonize your spirit with all that is matter. Ask spirit into everything and everything that you are and do and speak and move on. And you just have to start reharmonizing. That's why people in this box and these pods that are breaking apart will never be a part of this pod any longer. They have not done the work, and they cannot cheat, and they cannot race and take a pill to get themselves there or fake it and do a destiny swap with somebody that's up here. It's impossible, and it will not be allowed. Because the quantum equations are just too vast and too wide. And it will be blatant to all peoples what truth is and how truth is. You'll be seeing the equations and the correlations everywhere, dear lighted ones, but we want to take you back to the original story for you to muse on. This is a very important parable. We're taking two experiences that are coming together from different ways, and this is just as exactly as we have seen our discriminations in our societies about the LGBTQT plus, I think it's 1+. And please forgive me if I'm saying that out of order. This is why we need them to come up and speak for themselves, and we need them to come up and speak for their priority of their species and a way that they align energy and the way that they express themselves. Because there's been judgments and there's been misunderstandings, and there has been absolutely zero intelligence on the energy of every human as they walk upon this planet. Because we're just beginning to learn about hybridization. We're just beginning to learn about the DNA and its activation through hybridization programs. We're just learning that you were your ancestors and your lineage's answer to transcend those curses and hexes and everything that was conformity. So to give them a chance in the new Christ consciousness of the eternal life program that God so offers. And it is beautiful, energetic work. You get to understand science at the minute ways that you can understand science. And you get to be reawoken to your education in higher light wisdom ways, higher intellectual ways. It's all creation, dear lighted ones. How could you not know about it? How could you not be studying it? How could you not be excited not to study about it? These are just the sparks of creation. And every being on your planet is meant to vibrate differently and uniquely and to express themselves such so. This is why, dear lighted ones, we say this once again, we're going to bring you back. When you have two beings of two different fractions of earth and two different fractions of reality and two different fractions of universes even, because we all know that Celeste can move back and forth no matter what universe she wants. Now, if there is a collaboration between these two beings that come from different and opposite experiences, but that there is the only thing that brings them together in the center, which is what, dear lighted ones? What will bring them together in the center? We want this to come from you. Write it in the comments. Write it in the comments. Say it out loud. Your cells are listening. Let's see who comes up with it first. What is the only thing that will bring these two together? Magnetics. Love. And no matter what, dear lighted ones, it is love that will always build a foundation that is unbreakable. And they will learn to work through their hardships, and they will learn to work through their misunderstandings, and they will learn to work through what doesn't work and what works, and they'll learn to work through their compromises, through which you would never, ever, 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 in a billion evers, you would never, ever want your ever to have your foot on anyone's neck. Just to make it your point to say that you've won, or you're better. And this is why competition will just disappear. Because there is no God that would ever do such a thing and stand and say that they were godly. For there are ways, dear lighted ones, as Commander Ashtar and all of the great leaders in the galaxies of galaxies and the universes of universes that have been pulled from this very experience of this transformational period on Earth. You are taking your lineages from such limitation and discrimination and separation into unity of consciousness. That you can have different consciousnesses and you can have different levels of consciousness and different levels of understanding of what God and Source is and Spirit it is. And let go of the religious titles and the religious names and the religious this and the religious that. And just open it up and allow yourself to be liberated in the all umbrella. God is all life, and all life is God. Source creator. And you're allowing yourselves to be a creator too. Creator, imagination, inspiration of spirit, in spirit of spirit. So spirit must be a part of your everyday life. Thought, word, and deed. And if you separate spirit, it's going to take a lot of work to get spirit back. So if we talk about equations, say one has more spirit and one has less spirit, but perhaps one has more monetary 3D things than this spirit, because this spirit has been attacked and sodomized and all of the things that this being has been put through because they wanted to take the spirit out of this person because the spirit had so much spirit. They kept wanting to beat her and beat her and beat her and beat her. Take the spirit out, take the spirit out. We must have her spirit. And what does the spirit need to make sure that she will be allowed to do what she is allowed to do and be who she is allowed to be and express who she is allowed to express? And sometimes on your planet, when you're going through changes, sometimes there are monetary things that are needed. So God will place these experiences to come together. And when there is love, things can just be worked out. And you will compromise, but you will never be abused. And you will compromise, and you will be okay, and you will give and take, and you will share, and you will surrender, and you will make something right, and you'll say you're sorry, and you will apologize, and you will respect spirit, and you will respect honor, you will respect the body, you will respect the home, you will respect the foundation, you respect the goals, you will respect the visions, you will respect all that is meant to be respected and honored and bow to each other, so that you are both equally held, because without this, there is no this, and without this, there is no this. And why you are needed and why you will learn to work it out. We're going to take it a little step farther, dear lighted ones. You can think about the alchemy and you can think about the equation in your musings, because we want you to be more quantum with this. And even though the magnetics are quite opposite, but when they work together, they work, because it's God. And when God says it's time for a shakeup, it's time for a quantum shakeup. Make no mistake about it, everything will come down. And those that were made on good foundations, then it will be made on good foundations, and it shall not shake. But if it's not within the sacred Trinity, and you did not care about your collective, and you did not care about the heavens of spirit, and you did not care about anybody else around you, your foundations will break and fall, and so they must. And so too if you are a leader that had no care or concern about your people. And if you're putting them through tests, and if you're putting them through the Hunger Games, you might want to think about making those right and making your retributions quickly. Because the longer you wait, it's going to stand on your soul. Which means then, are you really a creator God? If you cannot say, I made a mistake. My army should have never gone through those lands. How can we repay you? Can we plant some trees in your lands now? Can we make it right on your lands now? Can we bring healthy water to your lands now? That's what you do as a king, dear lighted ones. That's how you make it right. And as councils and star leaders, that's what you'll be doing. You'll be traveling to the planets and saying, how can we make it right? What have we done? How can we make this right? And why there will never be allowed nuclear wars on this planet, ever. And you will be popped out and you'll be lifted by the hand of God. And you've wasted all this money and all this time and all this energy and effort when you could have just been making peace. And again, are you really aligned as a God? No. You're just a selfish affiliate for your private little businesses and your little weaponry motions across the underground and the black market. So how special are you now? It's very important, dear lighted ones. When there's a shakeup coming together, and there's going to be opposites coming together, and there's going to be magnetics going to pull people together, and it's going to make something really fascinating happen. It's going to fascinating happen in an omni, and the substrates are going to change. It's going to change the chemistry of what is possible throughout all creation. Because there is deep love within the ones that are coming together, dear lighted ones. And they're carrying that love from all universes and from all planets and from all devastations and from all remakes and rebuilding. And there is going to be something so profound happen that there will be flowers, and there will be seeds, and there will be herbs, and there will be blessings, and there will be new stars in your sky. And you think, wow, how could that happen? We've been looking at the same sky for thousands of years. Mother, Father, how is this possible? You're going to be discovering new flowers, dear lighted ones, new germinations. You're going to be discovering new genuses of your species. Your animals will become more peaceful because you are. And there will be every hand on deck to try and heal the animals that have been so wounded and put astray, and so very, very hurt and harmed, as well as the children. And you will come together like no other, because you have seen two people that could never have done it are doing it. And they're coming from opposite sides of the scale, and they're going to put their judgments aside and their discriminations aside, because what's leading these people right now, dear lighted ones, make no mistake about it, is what? The magnetics of love. And if the magnetics of love is not enough to change the hearts of every human to say, put down your sticks and wake up, there is potentials here that we have not thought about or considered, ever. And yet there is something deep inside of you as a soul of God, as a soul of the stars, as a soul of all that is. Whether you've come from the oceans from Sirius, whether you've come from the skies from the Pleiades, whether you've come from the germination fields of the Andromedas. Oh, dear star children. Make no worries about where your borders are, because they're disappearing. Be free and liberated, children and star children and angels of earth and angels of the heavens and angels of the planets, angels of the galaxies and angels of the cosmos. For there's many angels on this earth, and you just haven't given them titles yet, and that's okay. Many of you are angels from different realms and different planets and different star systems. And that is what's called the many heavens. Because each and every one of you are from the many heavens. The many star clusters, the many star beings, the many aliens, in many forms that you can't even describe. But love is love. And love transcends all. And you're letting go of conformities of what's standard and what was protocol and what was and what wasn't. What made a hit and what didn't make a hit. Who was popular then and what was popular now. We're going to make new protocols, dear lighted ones, and we're going to make new things happen. And there's not going to be a rhyme, and sometimes there's not going to be a reason. But that just love is. And love is the foundation that should it always be. Because if you do not love your people, and if you do not love your land, and if you do not love the vibration of just getting out and sharing who you are, and that's where you can tell the difference between those that fake it and those that will always truly make it, because they just want to share who they are. And then when they get handed a paycheck or they get handed something like the cherry on top of the whole dessert, it's a bonus, it's a blessing. Can you live life that way? Where life is just a blessing and anything more than that is a cherry on top, like these two beautiful beings that this show is dedicated to? They are the cherry on top. Because even though I was grateful for all the things I was learning and all the things I was going to, they gave donations and it was like the cherry on top. And not only was I shown that I was loved and I was important somehow to some people, even though I was beat down by others to say I wasn't important and my voice didn't matter. Well, if my voice didn't matter, why is there a whole lot of people trying to kill me? But it's going to take everything in your power to say, through your own voice, through your own spirit or soul, that you, the one that I've been trying to beat up, have been so very important to me, I cannot say it with my own voice. Because your pride is too big. You cannot come forward and say you're sorry for all the deeds you have done in your own voice, because your pride is too big. And you will sit in your pod wherever you are, and your membranes will always be surrounding you, because that's how big your ego is. Your ego is the membranes. It's just not letting you come forward in any way, is it? It's not going to inspire you to be more. Then that's where you sit, and you'll be a valuable lesson for all others. But the cherry on top showed me that, my oh my, if I can do this for 17 years, and I can be an inspirator for 17 years, and that somehow, some way, at the last minute, I get to be exactly who I am, and I still get to share who I am, and I still get to move forward, and I still know I got more books in me. I still know I can be on stage and help people. I still know that me just being present on this planet is going to make a difference. And I've seen things that would make other people cry, and I've heard things that would make other people cry. And this is where you're going to put down your borders. Because enough judgment and enough making people feel bad about who they are and where they fit and where they don't fit. How about you just accept and be love? And stay out of people's lanes, because there's a chemistry that people are coming together that nobody can replicate, but only God. Make no mistake about that. These things are only possible. And say this sentence out loud, dear lighted ones, and give your day an opportunity to transcend what was ever before, whether it's a body or whether it's a physical thing. And say this out loud so your cells heal you. These things are only possible because the center of my being matches the miracle of God is. God is the magnetics that shows two people from other parts of other worlds and other planets and other universes, that shows them the exact place at the exact same time that they're meant to see and need each other and meet each other. And their magnetic sparks something that has never been seen before in any galaxy. And you tell me there's no God. There are multiversal transactions happening, dear lighted ones, that only some of us can see and feel. And we're meant to bring these stories forward to show and to ignite and to inspire and ignite each and every one of you. The things that will be unfolding is only because of God. And because of that equal measure within you that you believe. And you know, as my name is, that's through God. That's source. Because the belly within you knows. I knows, God. I knows I'm here for a certain reason. I know, God, you placed me here for something. I know, God, there's a miracle around that corner. I just know it. I know these people will stop beating on my energy. I know these people will stop raping my energy. I know these people will stop trying to steal from me when I haven't even received it yet. I know within my belly. I know within my breath. I know within every moment I get up again. And I'm going to keep getting up. Because only these things are possible with Source. And there will be beings from all galaxies. And they will be in their light ships. And they will be by the bajillions standing behind you. As you break that membrane and say, fuck conformity, I'm going to be exactly who I want to be. And I will be making new ways. And I will be making new from industry to omnipresent fields of infinite creativity. What sounds more liberating, dear lighted ones? Selling your soul in the industry or creating an omnipresent field where everybody is a star? How can it not be? You're from different parts of the galaxy. I want to know you. I want to know your star. This is only possible, dear lighted ones. What is your alliance with light? Do you ask it in every day? Do you call it in for your healing? Do you call it in for your thought programming? Do you call it in for what's next for you? Do you call it in for a loving partner that will love you for just the way you are and doesn't want to change you? But that's going to be excited to change with you. And somebody that will never, ever want to sacrifice you. Because without you, they would not have grown to who they are and who they will be. And there will be books written after both of you. Because you are the ones that spoke about love beyond all things. And you showed others. It doesn't matter what side of the border you're brought on. It doesn't matter what people have called you. It doesn't matter what people think about their standards and what people think about their protocols and what people think about their side of the border or the skin of the color of their skin or the church that they come from or the church that they step out of. All is breaking now, dear lighted ones. It has to be, it must be. Because none of it was the center of love. None of it was the center of unity, dear lighted ones. There are beautiful stories out there, dear lighted ones, and you can investigate them. And they've been in the writings of those sages that remain just underneath. About the Sophia and the dragon. And these stories are being rebirthed. And people would have thought, how? How is it possible, the Sophia? A divine feminine angel and the dragon. How is that possible? We've talked about the dragons before, dear lighted ones. The crystalline dragons. What are your judgments? What are your judgments about who your next lover is? What are your judgments about who you have been and what feels really good to you now is liberating your soul and releasing everything and every expectation anybody ever held to you? Because most of you came from broken homes and you were shown very skewed perspectives of what a man is and what a woman is. And can it really be okay if you explore who you are in all your energies? And why judge yourself? Don't you just want to love? Why is the Creator so good at loving, dear lighted ones? Why does the Creator get so excited about loving and just want to be on stage just to share? And if I get a paycheck, it's a cherry on top. Can you live like this, dear lighted ones? What is your excitements? If your excitements are to bake the best muffins in your city, bake the best fucking muffins in your city and share them. And put a stand outside. I just got to share my muffins. It's so fucking good.
And if you knit socks, can you just be that? Can that be okay? Can you have the excitement for being the best of who you are and stand on stage and says, I'm a star, I'm the best maker of socks? Can that be okay? When you start sharing this as everything that you are, make no mistake about it, everything will be cleared away and there'll be miracles left, right, and center. Because you're not hiding behind somebody else's expectations and stories about what's a success story. Sell your best fucking socks. That's a success story. If it's colored pencils, do that. If you're showing how people to make art with colored pencils, do that. Be that. So be it. So be the excitement of God. Be the love of God. Be the love of God. How hard is it, delighted ones? Step out of the conformities. Step out of the subjugation. Step out of the limitations. Step out of those people that are trying to press and impale you with so much hate and so much magic that you've forgotten who you are and you wake up in a fog of your brain is being messed around every day because of the biochemical warfares that are out there by those people that say, we're going to take the spirit out of you. No, you're not. You will never take the spirit out of me. I am a magnitude of all universes, dear lighted ones, and you will never, ever, 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 in a billion evers, you will never mess with me again. And that is a staple within my DNA. And my DNA is being sown right now with codes that will never be messed with. Because I am that I am beyond the universe that you belong to. And my consciousness is that big. Thine word is rank. Sit with that. You are not me, I am not you, yet we are one. Sit with that. I am a mirror. I am a reflection. To awaken, to activate, to trigger. Sit with that. You will not rape me or pillage me or take from me or pretend that I am you and pretend that your story and your doppelganger, your next clone is going to just swap the destinies while you put a clone up here that is absolutely thoughtless and doesn't have a thought of their own because you have damaged them and they are damaged. And you put someone with 2 lifetimes in a story and a body of 1,000 lifetimes, being and a vessel and a prophet. Are you kidding me? Humanity, wake up. There are shakings about, delighted ones, and it doesn't matter about the masonry or the title or the clout or the witch or the warlock. They will never be the designers. They will never be the designers of what's going on and what's happening next, ever. And you will see it. You will see it. It's juvenile. It's petty. The games that are being played right now are petty. Petty, juvenile, kindergarten games. It's not magnificent in its intelligence. It's not coming together out of nowhere saying, wow, that's mind-blowing. We never thought about that. That's just, wow. That's why you're here, delighted ones. You will never get that from lower group think about hate and domination and who's going to get this and who's going to get that. You'll never get there. Intelligence is not that. Intelligence is the liberation and letting go. And the magnetics of only God can put together, and why you leave it to God. Why you leave those magnificent experiences and expressions and designs to God. Say, Source Creator, please guide me. My higher self, please guide me. My teams and my celestials of the 7th, 8th, 9th, 12th dimensions, please guide me. My higher self, please guide me. You are God to me. Let it unfold. And if I'm going to make the best muffins in town, I'm going to make the best muffins in town. And it's going to be my story. It might only be one chapter. It might be the whole book. It doesn't matter. I get to design it with God. And ain't nobody on the outside going to mess with it. And you're going to know who to get the ingredients from. You're going to know who to get the spices from. You're going to know how to play it. You're going to know who to present it before. You're going to know how to promote it. You're going to know how to sing about it. Do you see what I'm saying, delighted ones? Who says that anything about a muffin can't be a brand in and of itself? And they can be the best, healthiest vegan muffins on the planet. Isn't that a brand? Isn't that an essence of opportunity, of specialness? Do you see what I'm saying, delighted ones? Am I inspiring you right now? Because I can, because I am. Whatever the passion is for you, find it, seek it, live it, love it, be it. That's your brand. That is you and God sewn together so closely. Ain't nobody going to come between that. And you're going to make up your own song about your own muffins. And you're going to be that song. And you're going to be that essence. You're going to be that glory. And everybody's going to say, where can I get the best vegan muffins on the planet? Can that not be enough, delighted ones? Or is your story not big enough? Is your vision not big enough? Why is your creativity not big enough for what I'm saying here? You want to make up a song about muffins? The sharing of my muffins are beautiful, from source to the heavens and all star systems. My muffins, my muffins, my muffins. Your brand is your brand and it's unique as you are. Your socks are unique as you are. Your paintings are unique as you are. Your art is unique as you are. Your song is unique as you are. Your DNA is unique as you are. Ti ama ka tike e se nama a tike e she a. Te ama a. The true gods will arise, dear lighted ones. This is different times on different sands and different soils, dear lighted ones, and we are awakening your DNA. Never follow another person's plan and a business proposal about who you should be and who you can be. Set it aside and say, I respect you, dear lighted ones, and we can compromise on some things, but not on all. I am who I am, and I will create my brand, and I will create my essence, for it is who I am, sown with God. If you want to compromise with that, we will, but I will not be controlled, and I will not have anybody's foot on my neck. And if you even try, you're going to go through a whole heap of karma. You're going to wish you never even met me. Because there are certain those of us in the universe, and in the universe says, that are here to break through such things that I don't even know the plan of God and why I am the way that I am. I just got to speak and I got to share, but God has a plan. And I ain't going to sit down and I ain't going to shut up. Because if I do, then I'm going against God. Because I work on behalf of the universes, dear lighted ones, not just one, not just two, but multiverses that are uncountable. So my energy and my vibration of E equals MC squared is very profitable for all that is and all that God is. And why there are millions placed upon me to help me and support me and protect me. That's not for anybody to know. That's for me. And I don't have to come forward and I don't have to speak about it every day. But when my forward and my voice comes through, it must be said at some times. There are things that can only be explained. There are things that can only be designed by God. My role was never here to make anybody a believer. Ever. That's your job. Your beliefs are your job. They're not mine. I don't care about your beliefs. I care about being treated fairly and justly. And I haven't had one of my human rights respected on any level, in any way, and I still have not received what I've asked for. And that's why those are going through karma, and they're going to keep going through karma until I get what I'm owed. And I'm going to come forward with my unique branding and my unique creative ideas. And there will be those placed before me that will have collaborative options. And it will be unto both that will decide if that option is viable. To create as creator gods. To move forward in a very benevolent, beneficial for both, equal for both, viable for both, successful for both, opportunities for both, to grow and learn and be exactly who they are. And before we go on to our open messages, we want to say, why do you think it is so important for the Holy Creator to have put such diverse experiences together as one to co-create as creator gods? For the new sands and the soils of an earth that is so brand new to the galaxy. Isn't diversity where you find your greatest unity? Isn't diversity in which the song that should be sung throughout all creation? For however diverse and however opportunistic God is to find differences and uniquenesses, isn't that something special to each and every one that says, I came forward today and I found the most unique muffin. It's unlike any other muffin. There's been a being on this planet. There's been like no other beings on this planet ever. And they come with a different vibration, just can't put our finger on it. But this being just comes forward to ignite us in different thought forms, in different ways, in different energies, to know that everyone's perspective of uniqueness is needed and required. For we can see from all of you that everything is a lesson and everything is great and everything is honorable. It's allowed us to go deeper in our thoughts and deeper in our knowings and deeper in the subconscious and pull it up and say, I can get through this. This is healable. Can we give respect to spirit? Spirit is the one assisting you in all of your healings. If you don't give respect to spirit, you ain't going to heal. Doesn't matter how many synthetic medicines you got. Synthetic medicines ain't going to heal all of you all the time. And you know that. Crystalline bodies will not be healed by synthetic medicines. So do your research. We will be holistic healers, period, point blank. And we will use color, and we will use sound, and we will use harmonics, and we will use intention, and we will use the intelligence of consciousness and light. These are how leaders should be guiding, dear lighted ones. Who are you? What are your excitements? We're waking you up at a DNA level. We're waking you up at a soul level, dear lighted ones. You're very precious to us. There will be people placed before you, and there will be books placed before you, and there will be experiences and situations that will be shown to you. And you'll have to discern for yourself. Does it shake the belly within you? Does it shake the heart within you to say, what's possible? Can love really truly be the foundation? Can the diversity of all that we have been together and without, and can we offer new diversity into our lives and still be okay because we're safe? We're safe in this diversity. We're safe in our oneness. All are loved. All are unique. All are diverse. All are infinite in potential. Why can that not be your foundation? Because you can have whatever idea. You'll never ever be like anybody else. And even if there's 15 really great muffin sellers on the planet, you will still be unique. Nobody has the soul blueprint like you. So get in touch with your soul blueprint. Get in touch with your guides. Your guides will guide you. Have those musings of diversity coming together. Have the musings of why opposites and why the magnetics of such things of love. And they can see beyond the physical structures. And they can be magnetic in its perfection. And only can be seen through the blueprints of God. No humans could have thought of that, put together until they're in their godly alignment. When they're in their godly alignment and their higher self and their pineal is opened, which is what we teach you, all you need is your chakras. All you need is your alignments. And have nobody mess with your mind or your brain. Harmonize with spirit in every moment, dear lighted ones. These are simple daily ascension tips. Now let's open to spirit, dear lighted ones. We are going to do, I was hoping to do a half an hour. I do that every day. I get so excited about talking with spirit in my channeling. We're going to do open channel messages, dear lighted ones, and practice our clairs. That's why inspiration is so important. Get yourself into a highly inspired state before you channel, and all the beings that are going to come through and all the energies that are going to come through. It's going to be nothing but your best light. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you to all the spirits and all the teams and all the guides that are speaking through me. I love you so very much. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And thank you to my those beautiful beings that have donated and kept me believing in the cherry on top. I love you so very much. And we're going to open and we just call in our light. I recall all my light. I recall all my energy. You feel your body goosebump already. Remember, speak out loud. I call in all my light. I call in all my energy. I'm asking Archangel Michael and Saint Germain and all my healing angels and all my guides to please bathe me with the Holy Christ and bathe me with the highest light. Physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual and sexual. Please bathe all my centers and bathe all my fields. Please bathe and cleanse me. Anything that's ready to leave, any thought imprints and projections, please bathe and cleanse with the highest Christed light. I am bathed by the highest Christed light. I seek the highest Christed light in all that I think and all that I say and all that I do and act upon. My body and my cells and all that I am is being bathed in the holy Christed light. And feel your spine going into the earth, going into the earth, going into the earth. Connect with your Earth Star chakra. Collaboration with our ancestors. Tayu makada de kesha na makada de ke na makada de ke na 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 asia na nakada de ke na makada de ke na nakade na nakada de kai na nakade say na makada de ke na 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 ayati de ke na naka. Deep breath. Call in light, call in light, call in light. Aya makada de kesha na makada de ka na ka. We call in the highest beings of the holy light through my higher self only as my gatekeeper. Is there any messages from the systems of all that is, the systems of light, my celestial teams, my celestial beings, any ancestors, if there's a mediumship message that would like to come through, please present yourself through my higher self. And just pay attention to what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're smelling, and make sure to mark it in your journal and do your reflection work later. Is there symbols of nature that are coming through? You'll often be given symbols of nature when you're awakening because you're meant to get reconnected as deeply as possible with nature and with all that is Gaia. And this is why you'll always be shown animals. So look up shamanic symbolisms. Look up the shamanic symbolisms of whatever you're getting. Okay? Usually the shamanic websites are those that have been pulled from those that have actually been shamans. So again, discern where you're getting your information from and what feels right for you within your body and within your temple. And
Just alchemizing any dense energies. Shenamaka, bathe it with love, bathe it with love, bathe it with acceptance. All is diverse and all is accepted, all is God. Accept it all, honor it all, and then choose from your highest excitement. Honor it all, accept it all, choose from your highest excitement. Honor it all, accept it all, choose from your highest excitement. Any messages, Holy Spirit? Thank you, Holy Spirit. So they're saying that there's gonna be a compound of wishes coming true for many of you, because many of you have been many of you have been keeping yourselves in old energies. So they were just returning me back to our liturgy today about breaking through the membrane. So break through the membrane and start redesigning yourself in new energy. Okay, redesign yourself in your new essence. Redesign yourself in your new promotion. Redesign yourself in your new brand, right? And so there's going to be a compound of blessings for those that choose to take themselves there, because they're going to be saying, I'm safe. I'm always safe. And those people that won't accept you in this new energy, they're not meant to be with you on the ride. Maybe they can come back later, but for now, let go of those that bully you and tease you for being new. You're the one that is leading the pack, so let them go. Let them have their opinions and let them go. There must be a question on why you're not evolving. So always ask that too. If you're not evolving, ask why. Why are you not evolving? Why do you choose to still be in the same energy and the same thought programs, right? And then just allow them to sit with it and then move on. So always, never stay or never remain around those that never want you to change, that never want you to feel loved, that never want you to be healed, that never want you to seek new things. You have to wonder about that. They want you to stay conformed. They want you to stay small. They want you to stay brainwashed. They want you to stay in their control and their domination. So move away quickly. Again, the windows and the doors are closing on these timelines that are being pulled out. So there's going to be blessings. So thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So they said there's also going to be augmentation towards, so look up these words. Remember, we want you to be higher vibrational, higher consciousness, higher intelligence. Why we say certain words and why we have a certain impact. Our words have impact. Our words are coded with Christ consciousness. We're reminding you at a soul level to wake up. There will be an augmentation of your consciousness within the earth elements. So who are you with it? Who are you with in a similitude with earth? Nature, leaves. It's fall time now, so it's a wonderful time to inspect and investigate fall. The changing of the seasons and why you have such cycles. Every season is a diverse season, is it not? So they're saying, what is around you? Ask yourself throughout the day and the weekend, because we're still in the releasing and having our spirit guides assist us in this healing and letting go. What is around you that needs to be let go of and released? Thought patterns, habitual patterns, toxic food, toxic people, toxic environments. What is it that you can let go of? Do a spring cleaning, do a late spring cleaning. Okay, do an early fall cleaning. You know, release, get donations, donation boxes, drop them off, cleanse the house, sage your house, things like that. That's going to bring greater clarity to you, because there's been so much magic and there's been so much mental manipulation that we're moving into greater mental clarity. Thank goodness, hey? And this is where it's going to be more diverse, independent thinking, more independent movement, more independent speech, because we are moving out of the brain fog of all this magic that's been done on the planet and the various human hunting games and the various human testing games and the various human experimenting games. There will be those that will be pulled into resolving and coming into retribution and the balancing of those that have been abused. So those that have been abused in these human hunting programs, the human hunger programs, there was no right to have such egregious programs done, and they will be the first ones that will be pulled up, and those that are meant to repay them, those that are meant to bring justice, will be the very ones that will be placed first, so that these balances can be done. No such thing should have ever occurred on a planet just to keep people occupied. It's egregious, beyond all thinking, how we could have treated such life that way, and we were returning back to love. And why that returning back to the highest states of consciousness will always be love, will always be source creator. So take a deep breath in, And anything that you've had in this vision and in this working with your clairs, remember working with your clairs, anything that you've got in our videos, just sit with our videos and just open your mind and just close your eyes and then have your journal open. And then when you're done and you get certain visions, write it in your journal and then just keep listening. And then write whatever you get down, and then do your reflection work after. And then give yourself some silent time, give yourself some nature time, write down your findings, write down your downloads from spirit, and then go back to a video later and then do the same thing. Write down different words. What does that word mean? How am I connected with earth? This is how you do your path work. This is how you start working your consciousness. You are the commandmentship of your consciousness. It's you, you're godly, right? We don't want to be so much spoon-fed anymore on step by step by step by step by step. We want to say, no, you're godly. You can take yourself out of anything that has been suppressive, anything that has been subjugative, anything that has been conformity, anything that has been standard, anything's been whatever everything's been. No, this is who we are now. I have my techniques, I have my tips. I'm touching in with somebody every day about my ascension tips. I'm touching in every day about what's the current energy. I'm on top of it. I'm tapped in, I'm turned on. That's how you want to be. I'm tapped in, I'm turned on. Nobody's going to speak for me. This is who I am. I'm putting out the very best of me. And there will be somebody that will match that. I'm not going to take anything less. I know my value. I know my worthiness. I'm not going to take a penny less, and I'm not going to be outranked on a contract. I just won't. There are things that I will not sign. There are absolutely things I will not sign. I will never stop speaking about God, period. I will never not stop speaking about my work with the collective. I have things to do on this planet. I have things to create on this planet, and I will. I am. Therefore, that's then. Let's go. It's time to begin, dear lighted ones. We are creator gods. Step up to this new level. Break the membrane. Stop conforming. Stop the subjugation and let it go. And release yourself from everybody and everything that wants you to be small. That's not your role here. Your role here is not to be small. Your role here to be is deeply in love with you and all your excitements and all your passions. That is godly. And we end with that, dear lighted ones. Whew, feels good, hey? Ooh, thank you, dear lighted ones. We love you so very much. We love you so very much. This episode of such excitement was dedicated today by those two very beautiful people that have been assisting me in paying off the weight of my bills and the weight of my financial stress that has been on. So I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all of you. And Archangel Michael, please watch over these beings and give them whatever special blessing and wish that they can for helping me. My PayPal is paypal.me/Joanna L. Ross. And that's for any sessions, any vocational alignment sessions, any discussions with me, and then the bank address. And again, remember, I'm only going to receive things that are the bank that are benevolent. If there's anything fishy in that envelope, anything fishy in whatever package is sent to me, it absolutely will get lost in the mail. The Celestials will come in and it will just make it disappear. Because that's who I'm protected by, that's who I work on behalf of. I'm a multiverse being, and hopefully the messages will get there soon because we've been talking about it since day one, but apparently people need a bit more reminding. But it's okay, they're on their journey. I accept everything as all that is source, all that is God, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm sending out you love and 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 love. I love each and every one of you. Namaste, dear lighted ones.